I wore my grandma's wedding dress to my final fitting appointment. The designer's reaction changed everything. I almost canceled my final wedding dress fitting after $4,300 spent on a designer gown, 3 previous fittings, and endless reassurances that they'd fix the bodice issues. I was exhausted. But my mom insisted we go East Mosley to document the disaster for the inevitable dispute over our deposit. The problem started at my first fitting, when a consultant kept tucking and pinning while whispering that I definitely need to tone up before the big day. By fitting number 3, I was drinking celery juice for breakfast and dinner, desperate to fit into a bodice that somehow kept getting tighter, despite my losing 8 pounds I didn't mean to lose. The morning of the final appointment, I woke up with a knot in my stomach. As I choked down my celery juice, my mom arrived early with a mysterious garment bag. "Before we go, I want to show you something," she said, carefully unzipping the bag to reveal a delicate ivory lace dress. "This was your grandmother's. I found it in the attic last week." My grandmother, I, the most confident woman I've ever known, just had married my grandfather in 1962. The dress was simple but exquisite, with a sweetheart neckline and lace that had aged to a perfect vintage ivory. "Try it on," Moore urged, just for fun. I slipped it over my head, expecting it to be comically small. My grandmother had been a curvy woman, but I'd always assumed women were just smaller back then. The dress slid perfectly over my hips. When Mom fastened the buttons up the back, I gasped at my reflection. No pinching, no tucking, no constant adjustment. It fit like it was made for me, embracing rather than constraining. "Let's go," I said suddenly to the fitting. Mom looked confused. "Yes, but I'm wearing this." Mom's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" 20 minutes later, I walked into the upscale bridal boutique wearing my grandmother's 60-year-old dress. The designer Uwe, who had previously only addressed my mom as the Bill Pear P, froze mid-greeting. "What is this?" she asked, gesturing vaguely at my dress. "This is my grandmother's wedding dress. It's what being comfortable in my own skin looks like." My voice was surprisingly steady. "I've been trying to shrink myself to fit your vision, but today I realized I don't want to start my marriage by being less of myself." Her assistant audibly gasped. The designer circled me slowly, professional curiosity overtaking her surprise. "The construction is remarkable. That darting at the waist, we don't see craftsmanship like this anymore." She gently lifted the hem. "Is that hand-rolled silk edging? Extraordinary." I stood taller, "So I won't be needing the gown we ordered. I'll wear this instead." She surprised me by nodding. "I think that's the right decision. This suits you beautifully." She hesitated, then added, "I should have listened to what you wanted from the beginning. I got carried away with how I thought you should look." As we discussed the deposit, she agreed to return 70%. 3 other brides in the shop came over to admire my grandmother's dress. One even asked if the boutique could create something similar for her. "I want to feel as comfortable and beautiful as you look," she told me on my wedding day last month. I walked down the aisle in my grandmother's dress, altered only to replace some delicate buttons and add a subtle bustle for the reception. My husband cried when he saw me year later, telling me I looked exactly like myself, just in a beautiful old dress. My grandmother's photo in the same dress stood on a small table by the altar in both our wedding pictures, taken 6 years apart. You can see the same thing, a woman completely comfortable in her own skin. Sometimes the perfect dress isn't about the dress at all, it's about remembering who deserves to be altered. For whom?